welcome to Story Time with Mr. Nathan. Hey, if you've joined me before, you notice that there's something a little bit different today. What is it? I knew you would catch on. It's my shirt, right? I usually have on my duck shirt, but today we are reading a story with our friends over at Americorp. So, Americorp and First Steps, and we are reading I Am Almost Always Kind by Anna Milburn. Hey, if you've joined me for the first time here today, one thing we like to do is we like to go get in our comfy spot before we start reading. So make sure you're in your comfy spot and I'll meet you over there, okay? All right, I'm glad you made it to your comfy spot. Now we can get started reading. And we're reading I Am Almost Always Kind with lots of little holes. And what are the shapes of those holes that we see in our cover here? Yeah, you're right. It's hearts. So when you think about a heart, what does it make you think of? Ah, yeah. Well, let's see what shows up in our story and how they might play a part in it. And remember, if you're joining for the very first time, I might ask you some questions and I'm going to need your help to get through the story, okay? All right, let's read. I Am Almost Always Kind by Anna Milburn and illustrated by Aja Gilland. All right, there we see another one of our little holes, and it's another heart. And we see our friend's mom and our friend. It says, my mommy told me that being kind is the most important thing in all the world. More important than being the fastest runner? I asked. Or knowing all the answers? Even more important than those, she said. Then it is very lucky, I said quickly, that I am always kind. And look at that. What do we see? Can you tell me the numbers on the page that we see? One, two, three, and what else do we notice? Oh, Mr. Nathan notices that we have another heart. We have a heart. We have, it looks like she won a race. And she's got a bunch of books. All right, let's see how they play in the story. Being kind means, and then she's got her thought bubbles, and it means sharing my sweets, helping my little sister reach things from the high shelf, tidying away the breakfast things, and trying to cheer up people when they feel sad. Let's go back to how she was helping her sister get things off the high shelf. Can you tell me what that is? Oh, it's a piggy bank. Do you know what goes in a piggy bank? Oh, coins and money. Yeah. Awesome. So she's helping her sister get it so she can put her money away. All right, and look at our dog friend over there. He's waiting to get some food. Hopefully he doesn't get sick and she puts it away without him getting it, right? Yeah. And what does it look like with our friend who's sad? What happened over here? Oh, it does look like he broke his toy. And she's got her arm around him and she's like, it'll be all right. All right, let's keep reading. But sometimes when I'm kind, it doesn't work out the way I want it to. And she says, hey, new kid, I like your crazy hair. Why did she look so sad when I gave her that nice compliment? And then she said, "Here you go, little snails. A nice dinner for you. Eat up all the flowers." And it says, "Why was Mr. Williams so cross about me being kind to snails?" And Mr. Williams is like, "Hey, stop that." So, why do we think it wouldn't be very nice to say, "Hey, I like your crazy hair," or "Feed your flowers to the snail"? Yeah, it doesn't feel very nice to be called crazy, does it? No. And you're right, Mr. Williams probably worked really hard on those flowers. So he doesn't think it's very nice. So sometimes what we think is nice isn't always nice. But I bet we'll learn more about that as we read. Let's keep going. And when I invent a great game for me and my little sister to play, she says, "Let's be giants jumping on castles." And look, her sister's just sitting there making her sandcastle. Let's see what happens. What do you think's gonna happen? Is her sister gonna be very happy? I don't think so either. Let's see. She screams, "Why? You're so mean!" And I feel mad and bad and sad. And what do we notice about the picture that lets us know that everybody's feeling sad and mad and bad? Oh, everybody's hanging their head, right? And then our friend has her arms crossed. You're right. So she's very upset. And we've read plenty of books about emotions. So we're very good at being able to read other people's emotions by what they make with their face. What does your mad face look like? Yeah. That was a good one. I like that. Thanks for doing that with Mr. Nathan. All right, let's keep reading. I helped fix my sister's sandcastle, and afterwards I told Mummy that I hadn't meant to be mean. Mummy understood. She said, "But what you think is nice isn't always the same as what someone else thinks is nice. Sometimes to be kind to someone, you have to walk around in their shoes first. So I tried it." All right, and we see, yep, you're right. There's shoes down there in the corner. And she said she's gonna try it. So let's see what happens. All right. What is she doing? Oh, you're right. She's putting it on. And then what does she do? She's jumping in a puddle. And her little sister said, "You ruined Mummy's shoes. She's going to be so cross." It didn't work. Now I didn't feel like being kind to anyone. And so, one of the words on here we don't use a lot here in the United States. So, what do you think cross means? I bet you know. If she said, "You ruined Mummy's shoes. She's going to be so cross." What emotion do you think that is? Yep, think back to the sandcastle. She's gonna be mad. Let's see what happens. Mummy wasn't cross. She smiled instead. "I didn't mean real shoes," she said. "I meant trying to put yourself in someone else's place. If you imagine how they might feel, you might see what could make them happy." "I'm sorry about your shoes," I told her. She gave me a hug and it unscrumpled my feelings and made me feel happy. Mummy is kind. That is what it feels like when someone is kind to you, I thought. So I decided to try again. Isn't that so nice? Even if we don't get it right the first time and we might not be as kind as we want, we get to try again. So let's see what happens this time around. Before I put snails on Mr. Williams' garden the next day, I tried to imagine how he feels about his garden. So she imagined and she said, he loves those flowers. So I thought it might be kinder to look after them. Off you go, little snails. You can eat the weeds. All right, so last time she had him eating the flowers. Now she put him on the weeds. And Mr. Williams says, thank you. When I thought of a fun game to play with my sister, I tried imagining how she might see it first. What would she think of a great game, of a great big water fight? Oh man, that's one of those cool cutouts, right? We can see the water. But what is her little sister doing? She's painting, right? That wouldn't be very nice. And look, we have more hearts, right? What what's wearing that heart shirt? It's an alligator. All right, so she thought this is what will happen if we play water fight. Let's see what happens. If I was in her place, I guess I wouldn't want all my paintings to get soaking wet. Sploosh sploosh. And see, she thinks about it from if she were her sister and she's spraying the water everywhere, then doesn't feel nice to have that happen. All right. But after I painted pictures with my sister, she played lots of my favorite games with me. And oh, what did they do? They went camping, it looks like, built a fort, went swinging outside. Being kind is great, I thought. And they flipped over the cart. It looks like even their dog got in on the fun. But some people are hard to be kind to. At school, I found the new kid sitting on her own. She looked really grumpy. Yep, she's got her face like that too. Everyone else was playing and having fun, so I sat down by her and asked, do you want to play tag? No, she said. What about skipping? I asked. No, she said. In the end, I said, I want to be kind to you, but I don't know how. What will make you happy? She looked at me. I like football, she said. So that's an important question, right? Sometimes all we have to do is ask. So if we don't know, we just say, hey, what would you like to do today? Or like our friend here, what would make you happy? So we played football. And for us, we like to call that soccer. And she started to smile. Then I realized something. Being kind doesn't just make other people happy, it makes you happy too. Kindness makes you feel warm and sunshiny, and it makes and when you feel that way, you feel like being kind to someone else. Oh dear, Are you okay? Want me to help you up? That's her talking to her friend that looks like, what's it look like? He fell and scraped his knee. And our friend said, thanks. And then our friend who likes to play soccer said, you dropped these, here you go. So when we are kind to someone and someone else sees it, it gets passed along and more people do it. And it makes them feel warm and sunshiny and they feel like being kind to more people. All right, let's look at that. We got all these new friends. And it says, I made you guys pictures. And then down here at the bottom where they're on the um, tree stump, it says, you can do it. What else do you notice? Oh, yeah, their jump rope. And our friend says, hey, you want to turn? And then before we leave the page, it says, and in the end, so when more people pass on kindness, what happens? Oh, our page got flipped upside down. But look at all those people. It says, sunshine, kindness spreads everywhere. And look at that. We got a friend with an umbrella, and we got our two friends holding the ladder together. All right, so there's so many people that are helping. Oh, and we got a crossing guard with our ducks down there at the bottom. All right, let's keep reading. Being kind is sometimes easy and sometimes hard, but it's really important to try. And because it's the important test, it's the important test thing in the world. I am almost always kind. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. She said she is almost always kind, and that's the end of the book. But what does it look like? It looks like they're trying to spray their mom with water. And then the very back of our book says, being kind is super important, even more than being the fastest runner or knowing all the answers. That is why I am almost always kind. All right, friends. That was a great story. I enjoyed spending time with you. And remember, what we need to do most is do our best to be kind. And when it doesn't always happen the way we want it, we have to come back and try again because we can't always be kind. Sometimes it's not going to work out and somebody's going to see something another way. But you can do your best to try. And with that, I will see you next time. Bye.